Women want you bad when you do this one thing. I don't care if it's an ex, a situationship, or y'all are arguing. If you do this, then she's gonna chase you and she's gonna regret doing whatever the fuck she did to you. But not only this, you're able to become confident in yourself and realize that you should be doing things for yourself rather than her attention. So women, they literally steal your energy, right? If you make them feel good about themselves, you make them feel positive, they're comfortable, right? But you need to call your energy back to you. In other words, when you're doing good things for her and things are not where you want them to be, stop doing good things for her. Stop being as accessible to her. Stop being available. You can be nice, but don't give to her like you used to. Then she's going to regret and chase you. 101 coaching in bio. But don't stop doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I agree with that bitch though. Behold. Shout out to Boss Mac. She's totally correct though. She is definitely correct. Now, here's the thing. When you are focused on your masculine identity, you will know exactly when a woman should be rewarded. You will know exactly what and how to do what you do for a woman. Do you understand why? Because when you understand your masculine identity, you will understand not just what you want from a woman, but how you want it done. So when the woman is doing the things for you that she's supposed to do, when she's showing up like how she's supposed to, when she's following instructions, when she's being compliant, when she's being cooperative, when she's being submissive, when she is getting through the vetting process with flying colors, when you see how your personalities relate and come together and things make sense, that is because you're focused on your masculine identity. And once that is happening, that will give you the information that you need to reward that woman. Okay. Now, there will be times, because she's human, because everything's not perfect, there will be times where you need to slow things down, right? When you might need to check a woman, when you might need to punish her, right? When you might need to reduce the time, depending on the severity of what she's done, not understanding how to move or making a mistake or doing something disappointing or doing something that goes against your masculine identity. There might be a time where you may have to punish her. You understand? And these things happen, but it's all based on your masculine identity. This is why the vetting process is so important. And it is super important because vetting a woman is not just about testing a woman or taking her through the ringer. Vetting a woman is about you understanding your masculine identity and understanding how the consistencies of who you are as a man, how they work with a woman over time through consistency. That is what the vetting process is all about. It's not just about focusing on the woman. And as we tell you guys all the time, the game is not about women. The game is about you. So a large part of the vetting process is you understanding exactly who you are, is you understanding your masculine identity and what makes sense in how to move to push the relationship forward in a healthy, sustainable way based on consistency and based on the blueprint of who you are, which is your masculine identity. Okay, so like the girl was saying in the video, there's going to be times where stuff is going well and you doing stuff for her. And guys, listen, we have to understand the power of our masculinity, the power of our masculine identity, the power of our masculine presence. What we bring to a woman is infinite. One example of how we are infinite as men is that as long as we take care of ourselves, as long as we appreciate our bodies and take care of ourselves, we can reproduce until the day we die. Do you understand? So that is one example of how nature, the universe, God, whatever you subscribe to, has put men in the position to be infinite. Okay, we can infinitely reproduce until the day we pass away. Okay, now, not to mention, in just one drop of our life force is hundreds of thousands of possibilities. Okay, so we have to look at that as a metaphor for what we bring to the world, the value that we bring to the world as men. So when we understand how critical that is, we have to understand that who we are as men has to be congruent with what we require of the woman. And if she's not moving in a certain way, we have to know how to reward and punish that woman. Now, when I say punish, it is not malicious. You understand? It is not malicious. It is corrective, right? It is positive reinforcement because we want her to move correctly so the relationship can move correctly. It's not like we're just going out of our way to be mean to a woman for absolutely no reason. No, we're looking, she needs to be checked, right? She needs to understand why what she's doing doesn't make sense with the relationship. And if she doesn't want to understand, then she doesn't get the privilege of being in the relationship. She doesn't get the privilege of getting your masculine time, energy, and she doesn't get to be rewarded for bad behavior. And then we also have to consider that, again, as men, we lead by example. So if a woman is acting a certain way, we also have to look at the situation as men and ask ourselves, what did we do to let this woman think that this course of action actually made sense? Right. So before we check a woman, we also have to check ourselves as men. And then once we realize certain things, we correct ourselves and then we correct our woman. So it's like it's important to understand the game, to understand ourselves, to understand our masculine identity so we can have checks and balances. Right. So we can continue to do things that will affect the relationship in a positive way moving forward. But that only happens if we have a masculine identity. That only happens if we're focused on ourselves. That only happens if we know not just what we want, but how we want it. And we also have to carry ourselves as the type of man that is congruent with those things. Because there are too many guys who they claim they want a baddie, but they can't even deal with another person complimenting their woman, right? If you swear that you're the type of man that deserves a good looking woman, right? You deserve a woman who's the prettiest girl in the world. And you unrealistically think that there will be no one else on this planet that will appreciate her beauty at the same time that you are with her. Then you are delusional. And because of that delusion, because of that incongruence, you will not get the baddest bitch in the world. Why? Probably not because you're not attractive enough, but because mentally you cannot handle it. And let me explain something to you. The world doesn't give you anything that you cannot handle, truly. So if you're the type of cat where you can't stand other guys looking your girl's way, you can't stand nobody giving her a compliment, you can't stand nobody else liking her picture on social media, you have a problem with all these different things, and you're probably not ready for that baddie that you think you are. You get what I'm saying? So for that reason, you need to understand who you are. That is the best way to stay on course to get exactly what you want out of any situation. Whether we talking money, finances, career, in different interests in your life, anything we talk, hobbies, anything, your lifestyle, your health, your fitness, as well as romance and relationships. You get what I'm saying? All of this stuff works the same way. It all comes from you understanding exactly who you are. So not only do you know how to give a woman energy and you know when to pull it back, but you also understand how to behave in order to lead correctly. Because at the end of the day, you want to be with a woman that deserves the highest version of you, because you're going to strive for the highest version of yourself regardless. So you have to make sure that you're dealing with a woman that is moving in a way that deserves the highest version of you. And once you realize that she's moving in a way where she doesn't deserve it, then you either have to check her, punish her, or dismiss her. But we can only take those type of actions once we understand our masculine identity and how we're supposed to move. Because then and only then will it all actually make sense. So until we have set things right with ourselves as men, it's going to be tough for us to set things right with the female. But to get right back to the video with the chick, what she's saying is correct. Okay. You have to know how to give a woman energy. And if necessary, you have to know how to pull it back or take it away. All right. But that all comes from having a full understanding and a 100% self-awareness and self-mastery of your masculine identity. All right. So it's your boy, Miles Cunningham. Hope you got some of this video. Hope you're having a great day. Be good to yourself. Be grateful. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.